was getting attacked by fruit flies down here. I don't know why.
Are you fruit? Like, are you strawberry? Are you a kiwi? Are you mango? What fruit would you be if you were a fruit?
Man, you know what? Like, I'm not a big like fruit and vegetable guy. I have the ones I like bananas.
You're a protein guy, aren't you?
Mangoes. That's my cup of tea. Carrots. Love carrots, but
all of the gains.
Yes. So give me
so you're a carrot.
Breast. Give me a chicken breast and rice, and I'm good to go.
Okay, so no fruit for Blair. Noted. I'll send back the fruit basket that I was going to send you for Christmas.
So, but we're not here to talk about the 4 basic food groups. My name is Blair. That is Pluggo.
Yep, that's me. And it's For Exposure, your weekend Love Wrestling, independent wrestling podcast /show /super bad.
All over the place.
All over the place, yeah. Anyway.
So how's things going? I mean, we're pre-recording this. It's Monday evening. This is airing Saturday. So I'm just going to assume you had a good Halloween.
Let's hope so. If you're watching this in the future, let's hope I got all the candy. I'll be stealing all the dots out of my kids' candy. I will fight a kid over some dots. I'm a dots guy.
Do you have your costume planned out already?
I don't.
No?
Disgruntled dad.
Okay.
Tired dad. So that's a normal thing. So maybe I'll chug a Red Bull and be awake dad. I don't know. We're gonna have some fun. Hopefully, my hope is it doesn't rain or snow, which has happened.
So I actually brought my costume from my dad's. It's a giant foam banana, and maybe at some point I'll sneak away and I'll throw it on just for a.
You just told me you don't like fruit, and here you are dressing up as a giant banana. You are very contradicting today, Blair.
On my go-to. I'd rather have a Rice Krispie
early on a Saturday morning for you to be throwing these curveballs at me. When
you know what? I think that I see where this is going.
Yeah, it's getting testy. I was gonna say,
it's getting testy.
Maybe I'll go as Roman Reigns.
Put that back in the bedroom for you and Mrs. Pluggo. You know what?
Hey, she likes what she likes.
You are my good friend. You are one of my best friends. I'll say it. You're one of my best friends. We have special guests today. We got special guests.
We do. We could banter for hours, but these people rule, so we need to bring them on and let them join the fun.
They are more enjoyable than we are. Without further ado, it's going to be Only Friends.
That was intense. What was that?
That was the music Zach put on there, and it's like it was 2 songs in one.
It reminded me of like Tony Hawk Pro Skater if you got stuck at the menu too many times. just playing random underground like music.
Yeah, okay. Zach must be in his experimental phase. I don't know what we should have listened to that before we aired it.
No kidding.
I'm down with it. We get mystery music.
I pulled out my old Xbox 360 this past weekend, and I haven't plugged it in like 13 years because we were like, I got Rock Band. We're gonna hook that up. It's a Saturday night. This Xbox was working in overdrive to get that disc going. Like. I was amazed it actually worked.
Sounded like a jet engine.
It did. It burned a slight hole in the floor, like there's a little bit of a divot. It's okay. We rent.
Did it really?
No.
Oh, geez. I was like, buddy, that's good. I'll burn your house down. There's stories about that kind of stuff.
Look, I got to play In Bloom by Nirvana. I'm gonna do Easy on drums, but it's still we're gonna rock it. Okay. Logan and Stormi, Only Friends. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys?
We're good. You guys are.
We're hanging in there. You heard us bantering like an old married couple at the beginning of the intro there.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Right. Logan and I banter like that too.
Yeah, fair share.
Oh, that's fair. Let's get down to the nitty gritty, the business. What kind of wings was that a couple days ago? I saw the picture.
Do you want to go first with your order?
They
Yeah,
look good.
I'm gonna go first because I feel like I was kind of in a hostage scenario going to Buffalo Wild Wings, but
Ooh.
I'm a Wingstop guy. I'm a Wingstop kind of guy. They just got the
Me too.
wings.
Oh.
I
However,
didn't even know if
Buffalo
there was a Wingstop near us. We didn't look.
in Wichita.
No, and
Oh,
we were in
Denver. We were in
Denver.
Denver. Yeah, there has to be a Wingstop in Denver.
We just didn't look.
Anyways, it was so late, so we went to Buffalo Wild Wings. I got their maple chipotle wings, and then I got this stuff called Sauce Gardener. There wasn't enough sauce. That's all it was. It was pretty good though, like for what I got.
Okay.
The
I've never heard
mozzarella
it.
sticks though, mozzarella sticks everywhere, fire. So
Buffalo Wild Wings appetizers, like they're solid there. Because
yeah.
like I will dummy a plate of deep fried cheese like no other because we don't have that in Canada. So anytime I go down to
You
Minneapolis
don't have
or like
mozzarella sticks in Canada?
deep fried cheese, the
There we
cheese
go.
curds.
It's the same thing.
Oh,
Cheese
curds. Yeah, cheese curds, mozzarella sticks.
I feel like there's a
Yeah,
certain
Canada
difference, but
loves
like
their
it's almost the
cheese.
same thing.
We do love our cheese.
I had some hot honey cheese curds
And
the other day from
poutine.
Culver's. They were fire.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that Stormi's just like cracking out a pizza. She's like, I'm good to go.
She's a woman of many
I have to
talents.
make my lunch, and this is the only time I could get it in the oven.
Multiple times over the weekend, she tried to get me to walk and text at the same time. I'm a singular function person. She's doing multiple things at once.
This is the 4 exposure cribs with Stormi Renee. We're gonna just check out your crib and how you're living. MTV style.
Do you really want a crib tour?
You know what? Now we do.
Now I think we have to
Might
have.
as well.
Okay. All right. Hang on. Okay. So I don't really know how to turn my camera around because I'm really stupid. There's my living room.
Mhm.
There's pop toys everywhere.
Heck yeah.
There's my Xbox with my talent passes from when I've done AEW extra work.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
There's a big anime poster. There's a wall full of wrestling posters that I've been on. There's more anime, like a lot. I was in weddings, so there's my little bouquets. There's 2 Pikachus.
Big Pikachu and mini
There's-
Pikachu.
There's 2 records. This is Jelly Roll and this is Tropadelic. There's more pop toys.
Okay.
This thing is my cat's litter box, but it's also a shelf. This is a
Very
painting
cool.
I made. This is fan things that have been gifted to me.
Aw.
This was a gift from my wrestling trainer. This is my wall art. That's the cat tower I built.
Voila.
Here's
My
kitchen.
my son used to sit on our cat tower, like go all the way to the top, and we're like, oh god, it's not for you.
I'm surprised it didn't break.
Nope, he was a little guy.
More
back in the day.
anime. Here's my bathroom.
It's a big bathroom.
It
The
wraps
dual
around
sink
the
action.
closet.
That's only friends.
Walk-in closet?
Woo.
She's got the secret closet into the bedroom combo. It's like
And
some
then this
Harry
is my
Potter type
bedroom.
stuff.
And there's a TV, and then there's more art and stuff, and more pop toys, and more anime, and more pop toys.
Okay.
This has
And,
been
yeah.
This has been 4 exposure cribs with one half of only friends.
Welcome to the Stormi crib.
Stormi, when did you first get into wrestling? Like how long have you been going at it? Like what was the sort of process for you to like get involved with it?
So, like, being a fan, I've always been a fan kind of since, like, I was a kid because my dad's side of the family has always been obsessed with it. It wasn't until I was 16 and I had started dating another wrestler that I kind of found the independent scenes. And I think when I turned 17, I kind of started training a little bit on the side. And once I turned 18, I started trying to get into it a bit more. And then in 2018, my trainer now opened his school and started running everything again because he had been training for about 10 years before that with other people. He's been in the wrestling business for 22 years now. And so he started training me. And then in 2019, I got to have like my first ever match in front of a crowd with like all my wrestling gear on. And yeah, so I've just been kind of going since then. It's been mainly the help of my trainer, like getting started. He's such a great guy here in our area. Anyone who hears about him knows him, like loves him. And so I have to credit like a lot of my getting and going and getting around to where I am thanks to him. Because if it wasn't for him, I don't think a lot of people would have taken as many chances on me as they did. So yeah.
Nice. Like, I think that's always one of the things, like, I know I always ask about it because it sometimes, like you try to, I don't want to say show respect, but like it's the sort of the gateway to get involved with wrestling, just to kind of like, hey, this is my entry point, like, so like, not a thank you, but just to show appreciation sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So how did you and Logan sort of connect and become a team? Because I know I've chatted with Logan. He told me the story. So I'm going to get your side of it now, and we can like go back and go and see how it works out.
And now Logan can be like, that's not true. That's true. He's ready. Look at it. He's like, oh.
Look, I have a terrible
She's probably
memory.
gonna say that.
So, I don't remember like when I met Logan exactly, but we of course met at a wrestling show, and I don't know. I think Logan and
2019.
I
It was
just
it was around the same time.
Yeah.
Drake brought me
Yeah.
up to Kansas while you were still training. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. We just kind of instantly connected, and we like became instant best friends, and just enjoyed hanging out, talking, having fun. And so a couple of years went by of being friends and everything, and I don't even really know how the conversation came up. I honestly think it was kind of like a joke, and we said we should be a tag team, and then eventually I was like, "Hey, no, like." Yeah, you're right. We should be a tag team. I'm down. I'm so in for it.
Yeah.
And so pretty much it was just Logan saying like we made the joke, and then we just started talking, and I think even our name came about as a joke. I think Logan once again made the joke, and I said, "No, that's gold. Like that's money. You're right. We're doing that."
That's
And
how that
then
works with everything.
for real.
Yeah.
Like you're joking around with your buddies and you're like, no, actually, that's a great idea. Quit screwing around. We're doing it.
The only thing like I can take credit for is our gear color scheme as of right now,
Yeah.
because I picked the orange and blue, which coincidentally even happens to be Logan's favorite basketball team, the Thunder. So it just kind of worked out.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's a lot like that too. We were cracking jokes about it for a few weeks because there was, I guess, loose opportunity on the board for us to tag team at some point, just because we wrestled a lot of the same places. But it wasn't like these two people are a tag team. They're recognized as a tag team. Like we're gonna book them as a tag team kind of thing. It was kind of just like, oh, these are two individual people in the area that are pretty talented that are gonna have a match or two kind of thing. But then we had Fountain City Pro debut, and Shyline got injured, and Stormi was supposed to make her debut at Fountain City Pro by wrestling that woman, but she got injured, and they threw us together, and it ended up, becoming a real thing. So I guess it took a matter of a booker taking a chance.
So, like you guys said, you joked about becoming a tag team, then you decided to try it. And I have to imagine there's been thousands of millions upon teams that have tried it and maybe it didn't work out. When did you guys know we got something here? We've got some momentum. This is really fun. We're clicking. Let's just see where this whole thing could take us.
I'm not going to say it in a cocky way, but I think it was our first match. Oh, what?
Well, never mind. This has been full exposure. Have a great night.
I forgot you know where I live.
All right. I'll be in Wichita in 1 hour.
That's an hour and 45-minute drive, just so y'all know.
Nope.
Not today, it's not.
Not when I'm doing 100.
I don't know. I agree. I think our first match.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that as in like, oh, our first match was the best thing to happen or anything like that. It was just like it was a good debut, and we had two very talented people in Laney Luck and GPA taking care of us for our first tag team match, and not to mention it was our first intergender tag team match for the both of us, I think. So I couldn't have asked for any better independent wrestling talents, especially veterans in our sort of region of the country, to be able to take care of us and do that match. And even they had fun too, so we can't really say that didn't give us confidence.
Yeah, I had a blast with that match.
Yeah, I bet all of a sudden the I hate you. I had a blast. Which one is it? Which one is it?
That's my bestie.
And I mean, it's really something. I mean, Laney Luck and GPA, like those two, I mean, they're very talented. I mean, you couldn't have like a better team to almost be like an introduction for you guys to work against, just to like know that when you go out there, you're going to be okay.
And I think it worked like 10 times over for our gimmick too, because Laney Luck and GPA are obviously the wrestling couple gimmick, and me and Stormi are the no kissy, no touchy, we're friends only, platonic kind of thing. And so when you have those two styles clashing, it's the perfect storytelling element for the intergender matches.
Okay, I have a question. I've always wondered this with tag team wrestling, and it could be a very dumb question, but I figure what better time to ask than now. But like, I mean, you guys are living different cities, correct?
Yes.
So like
States even.
Different states, like when it comes to like taking bookings and organizing all that, how do you guys make that work?
I let Logan handle everything.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I do handle most of the bookings. Like people will hit up Stormi sometimes, or Stormi will throw ideas to bookers to, you know, bring us to the show she's already on, or I'm bringing her to the shows that I'm already on, kind of thing. Yeah, that's like I do take care of a lot of this stuff. I'm not gonna say I take the credit for everything, but she is definitely 50% of getting booked.
She
So
gave
I
you guys the color scheme. She got that.
Yeah. She's 50%.
I just-
so I'm not gonna take the credit, but
I think it's
Well, no, you-
so much
I- you
easier for one person to handle it.
Yeah.
Like it just gets
Yeah, I was gonna say-
so if he knows what dates we already have and he kind of keeps a hold of the schedule, and especially going into next year since we did start in the middle of the year, like he can just tell me, hey, this got taken up, fill your calendar. And it's just so much easier rather than having to go back and forth and be like, hey, did you get us a booking for this date? Because I think I have us one.
Yeah.
And so if I find people I like, I'll preach us to them. And then I'm like, yeah, but hit up Logan for booking dates and all of that. He will keep that and just tell me where to go.
Did you
I-
guys learn that the hard way? Because I know as a podcaster with Blair, and I do another show, and my co-host, sometimes our wires get crossed. I know a couple weeks ago we had that happen on my Thursday show where I was like, I already got somebody lined up, and he's like, but I got somebody lined up, and I'm like, let's figure this out.
we've had flubs like that already. Like there was a show in July that I don't know. I guess the promoters just like forgot to reach out to her too, and I also forgot to say something as well because I'm a forgetful person. I just assumed they were going to say something to her. My bad. I forgot. I am the booker man of this tag team, and so there have been flubs, but it's handled pretty nicely. I mean, she still showed up to the date and ended up being like my manager for the match. So.
I think experience just taught us to let it happen that way. I don't think there was ever really a full discussion. I think Logan just kind of realized I thought it was easier to do it that way.
I think we've had talks about just like how we take our bookings anyways, because we still take singles bookings as well, but it's more so along the lines of we open our bookings at the exact same time most of the time. And so we're more likely to probably get hit up about our tag dates than singles dates nowadays. But I mean, there's still gonna be singles dates spread throughout there. I'm mostly gonna be using my singles dates to, you know, take a chance and go to places to get an opportunity, or either wrestle somewhere that may be sketchy and report back to Stormi if we can tag there or not.
It's better you just go like first, and then like when Stormi doesn't hear from you in like 5 days, she's like, I guess I'm not.
they killed her.
I don't want to wrestle. Now, Stormi, I have to ask because I'm a curious party, and I was watching you take that pizza out of the oven. Are you the type that preheats the oven to 425, or do you just throw it in right away and then go check it?
What kind of monster doesn't preheat the oven? Oh my god!
I feel like I don't even know you.
should have checked
For the audio listeners, I raised my hand because I will turn the oven to the 425, throw the frozen pizza in there, and then just eyeball it the rest of the way.
You know what? Honestly, I respect that. You're a man of
No!
culture. You know your game. That's it.
Listen, I look like this for a reason. I know my pizza game.
I'm not going to talk to a larger set gentleman about how he handles his food. He obviously.
Thank you, Logan. Just like I would never talk to you guys about how you wrestle in a ring. I know my way around some food.
I'm waiting for Pluggo to come and be like, you guys got to change your style. Like both
both of
mat-based
you,
technicians.
guys.
That's how we're running stuff.
I was watching these matches, and I figure you could tighten it up. No, I would never. But no, you preheat, and then the preheating is a myth. That's a conspiracy.
It's a myth. Okay. No, I can see it.
Okay.
If I just let it
Do
preheat,
you put your
it's
cheese
cooking
in the water before it's boiling?
yeah, do you put your pasta in the water before it boils?
Yeah, plug them.
Sometimes, depending on the mood I'm in, but no, I usually let it get before the boil, before the bubbles start.
Then I cook.
See,
I got 4 kids. I got 4 kids. We ain't got time for all this.
If you
preheats
to where it needs to, you can properly time it, and you don't undercook or burn anything.
I've never burnt a pizza in my life.
I've undercooked pizzas, but I've never burned one.
I've done that, but I've never burnt one.
I've done neither, so who's right?
Oh, well then.
I'll report back as soon as she burns one.
If Stormi burns a pizza, we need to know. It's gonna be
I'll send that DM immediately.
Now I can never tell you I burnt a pizza. I thought I could
Count
trust
your days,
you.
Stormi.
I have to ask because I know Logan when we last chatted.
Yeah, what do you do with your ice cream? Do you set it out and let it
get to room temperature?
Sorry, Blair. Go on.
It's okay. Logan, you had the match with Warhorse.
Yeah,
I know because you had mentioned that on the podcast. How did that go? I know, just to get the information about it.
I think it went really good. He didn't decide to drop me on my head in the middle of the match or, tell them to blackball me from the town afterwards. So I think that's all I could really ask for at the end of the day. No, I'm kidding. No, Jake Parnell was a very, I guess, a measuring stick match for me and an eye opener for sure. I know I went and told you yesterday, or not yesterday, but in the last podcast we did, I told you going into it, I was nervous. I do look at Warhorse as probably the top independent male talent in the country. And so I felt like I had a lot to prove. And I may have not, we may have not put on a Dave Meltzer 5-star, 6-star banger, but I think we gave Fountain City exactly what they wanted. And I think I proved to a lot of people that I can hang with some top dogs. I can hang with some top horses. But I was pretty proud, but I don't think anything made me more proud that night than getting to watch Stormi beat up half the premiere right after me beating up Warhorse. And that brought some great feelings to my heart because we didn't tell each other what we were doing in our matches, but we still hit fat top rope crossbodies in both of our matches. So it's just like, I guess we're in sync even when we're not tagging.
It's just the way it works out sometimes, I do like though, like the way you describe it, like it's not like a Meltzer, like 5-star, anything like that. But like when it comes to like independent wrestling, the thing is you have there has to be that variety on a show. Like if you go on a show and you have nothing but like these out of this world matches, by the third one, everyone's going to be like, okay, I'm bored now. So having different styles on a show, having different matches, different wrestlers all together. That's what I love about independent wrestling is getting that variety onto a show.
And yeah, I agree. It goes to say we also did kind of we did have a heavy hitting match. It was about 6 or 17 minutes of a lot of back and forth. And I think he took me to a limit in an aspect of I've never been that physical in a match before with somebody else. And also I've never had just everything feel right in a match like that because everyone always wrestlers will always beat themselves up and be like, oh, this could have been better. Or this could have flown better. The yada, 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 the whole biggest critic gimmick. But everything felt pretty good to me that night. And obviously he probably doesn't feel the same because he's wrestled, Cody Rhodes on AEW for the TNT title. So that was probably a fantastic experience. But for me, it was very, very valuable. And I couldn't be more thankful for the time. I know that Stormi had a matchup recently that was probably arguably just as big for her when she got to wrestle Brooke Havoc in Denver on Friday.
Oh, nice.
So I know she enjoyed that. Stormi,
Dude,
How
how
you feeling 3 days
Don't you
later?
remember you did that match? That's why we sold so much merch.
we sold Only Friends merch at the show, and I wasn't booked because it was an all women show, obviously. So at the end of the night, I go, man, we're so over. I can't believe I sold those shirts.
Oh man, it must have been you who did that Canadian Destroyer.
It must have been me that wrestled Brooke Havoc, huh?
It must have been you who wrestled Brooke. No, it was a great.
Wait a minute,
match.
you're a team. You're a team. If one of you win, you both win, right? Even if you're not wrestling that
we're
night, right?
tagging together,
we both lost to Warhorse and we both lost to Brooke Havoc. I like how that.
Hey,
sounds.
you hear that, Blair? When
I'm
I
gonna
do
tell Brooke.
when I do things that we don't do on this show, it's mine. No, I'm just kidding.
what?
That's what she just said. We got to be tagging. It's got to be tagged. We got to be tagging, Blair.
Okay.
I'm
see.
learning. I'm learning out about
not Logan's single match win.
I'm gonna start doing that at Fountain City whenever you're not there. They're gonna really love that gimmick. I'm gonna get on.
So I guess
the ring
that.
like
So
that's my first
Logan,
tag.
do you get? So you don't get credit towards your PWI ranking based Stormi's wins?
I mean, I want to say Stormi got me on that list, but they only look at singles matches, or else I would totally be riding Stormi's coattails some more.
Do you guys think that there's a shot you'll make the tag list at the beginning or end of this year?
I wish we would, but I don't think we're even going to qualify by the time the beginning of the year starts. I think by the end of the year, we're only going to have 12 tag team matches as a team. However, a lot of our bookings exclusively in 2025, I'm at least aiming for 1 to 2 tag matches a month. So hopefully we can get something out of that and, keep getting it. But that's just prayers up. It's obviously very hard to get an intergender tag team booked in this area of the country, but we're not trying to be in this area of the country. We're trying to be all over. So hopefully some good Samaritans who want some sick intergender action will.
Which I was going to ask earlier on before we talked about pizza and all the things that I love. Is it tough? It's all good. You're just speaking my language. Is it tougher? You said in this part of the country that you're in to get intergender tag matches booked. Is it tougher in general, maybe throughout? Because intergender tagging is a big thing on the indies. It's not so much as you go up the card to the bigger leagues, but it's not a what's the word I'm looking for? It's not frowned upon in the indies, but is it still a tougher thing to get?
I would say so, especially because like a lot of what me and Blair talked about on the Grainmaker podcast is Oklahoma State Athletic Commission not understanding what the hell professional wrestling is. So we can't even tag team here. Even though it has to be mixed match rules, and like if you even sneeze or look at the women wrong as a dude, you're like, there's a fine. Like Stormi was in a battle royal.
Same for women.
Yeah. Stormi was in a battle royal where none of the dudes touched her, and then as soon as she hit a dude and eliminated him, she got like a $1,000 fine, like on the spot. It was nuts.
Really.
One dude got suspended for throwing me over the rope. One dude got suspended for holding me too long. And then one dude did get suspended fairly because he kicked me in the gut, even though we were like, hey, don't hit her. So that one was a fair suspension. But yeah, mine was for engaging in any of it at all. Like everything I did being in that match was a big no-no. Especially because I did the moves.
Was this in a battle royal, you said?
Yeah. It was an over-the-top battle royal.
So
most
realistically,
expensive over-the-top battle royal in Oklahoma history.
You could have just sat there and been like, well, obviously I'm going to win this because nobody can touch me.
Well, and I guess my question, and I might come off as kind of silly here, but like, isn't that on the promoter then to not book you guys into that potential? Because like, let's be honest, independent wrestlers are struggling sometimes. You're not making a lot of money. You're traveling. You're paying your own way, and then you get slapped with this arbitrary $1,000 fine on top of it. Hey. The cat had to blow up my super serious journalistic question there. I love it. But like, how do you guys, so like, do you have a say? Let's say you get booked for XYZ show, you show up and they go, well, we're doing this intergender battle royal in a spot that we can't do these because you're in the heat of the moment. You're in the ring. Like you want to mix it up. You're not going in there just to sit. So where does that line fall? Who does that fall on then?
I don't really blame the promoter in this instance. Oklahoma's done a lot of when it's convenient for them. I wrestled a male midget, male little person, whatever you want to call them, and it was in a tag match, and his partner was a woman, and it was me and a woman, and we wrestled each other in the match. He hit me, he bit me, we had a match. The athletic commission sat there and laughed their butts off that entire match. There have been other instances in Oklahoma of having that, and I trust the promoter when he said he talked to the dude about what they were going, like what we were going to do. I think the only person, like I said, like broke the rules was the person who actually kicked me. We were just supposed to do little things where it was just me shining up on the dudes, but they ended up telling him that it was okay. But as soon as the show was done, the person who oversaw the show called in immediately and was like, "Hey, they did this."
Yeah.
And then didn't say anything to any of us when he left. We waited to get notices in the mail and for other promoters to find out that we were no longer like licensed with Oklahoma. Like our licenses were being suspended.
Can you fight that? Can you appeal it?
Oh, we
Can
did.
you show a
We
video
fought it.
of like, hey, look, this is not what actually happened?
So we kind of fought it because, I mean, my biggest thing is they sometimes, I think they changed it, but they were categorizing us as MMA. And when women do MMA, they have to take pregnancy tests to prove that they are not pregnant, and they cannot wear a full face of makeup. So if you're going to say, I am an MMA wrestler, where's my pregnancy test? And why am I wearing false eyelashes and a buttload of eyeshadow that is sparkling on my face right now? And so other people brought up past instances where men could wrestle women, and they very much wanted us to hush up and shut up. And so what we had to do was sign a waiver that said we pretty much understand that we were in the wrong. If we do it again, the state of Oklahoma can fine us $1,000. So that's what happened there.
Sounds crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean,
Oof.
I know,
Awful.
Logan, we had chatted about the whole Oklahoma State Athletic Commission thing. I know, like, you guys, you put in a lot of work for that. How did everything turn out coming out of it, and what's the sort of plan going forward?
We talked before the October meeting.
Before, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. October. Oh God.
Lay it down, buddy.
God, what a nightmare.
It's strapping.
Okay, let me get stretching. Yeah, so going into that meeting, obviously the argument was it was basically a gender equality, gender rights argument to start all of this off because of the Nyla Rose situation and the intergender wrestling situation. When that meeting started, unlike the July meeting, in the July meeting, we got to discuss everything, have an open forum and speak and stuff like that before a vote or decision was sort of made. But in October, for this meeting, there wasn't anything like that. We got to speak at the end of the meeting in an open forum after all the voting on all these kind of things happened. So it felt off the bat already kind of like we don't want to listen. We don't care what you have to say. This decision's already made in advance before we even got here kind of thing. And when we got into the meeting, we still tried to be a little bit hopeful. There is a guy on the commission that was a former professional wrestler in the 80s and 90s here in Oklahoma, and he tried to help argue for us a little bit, but also he's a little bit older, so he's also focusing too heavily on the mixed tag setting, the mixed tag rules. We're not here to have mixed tag matches. Mixed tag matches are already legal in Oklahoma. We're trying to have intergender matches so these women aren't wrestling the same 4 or 5 other women, every fucking week in Oklahoma, because it's going to get annoying for them and it's going to get annoying for the fans. And I know it's annoying for all the dudes in the back because all of the dudes in the back just want the same thing for the women. We want them to get better and we want to see good matches from them. So it comes to a point of like talent hindrance, which I think we discussed too, Blair. And
Yep.
So when we dived further into the meeting, it kind of seemed obvious that they didn't know what professional wrestling was at all. At the beginning of the meeting, there is a quote in the videos that I have posted on my YouTube where one of the commissioners recognizes professional wrestling is not a sport And so for the rest of the meeting, it kind of offers up the question of why we're even still in the room and still arguing or having a discussion at all if we're going to recognize by a sports committee that professional wrestling isn't a sport. Yeah. When we got further into the meeting, we did the vote for the professional wrestling thing. They're going to kick it up to legislature and present it as a gender issue and just a gender identity issue. And Oklahoma's a red state, so that's going to go to legislature and get smacked right down in the trash can. And I think they kind of knew what they were doing with that because the governor in, I believe, February or March signed a legislative order for regular like collegiate and academic school type mat wrestling. You can only have male versus male and female versus female. You can have male versus female. And this is where a lot of confusion comes in because they want to classify us the same way as like Greco-Roman mat wrestling, and they want to keep us in that same category because it's just, I guess, the most like loosely based off thing we are. And so it kind of felt like that's where all these decisions were coming from. I asked them to look at, if we're going to look at this as a sport, we should look at it like other major franchises or major associations like the NBA, the MLB, the NFL. They all have meetings at the end of the year or end of the season, I guess. So during the off season, they have these player and league official meetings where they revise the rules. They go over the rules of what's going on in the league every couple of years or so. And to my knowledge, the rules in Oklahoma haven't been changed down the board at all in the last 25 years, probably my lifetime. Because when these intergender rules started was around the time me and Stormi were even born. So it just goes to show that like no one has bothered to take a look at this at all. So when they made that decision to kick it up to the legislature, the following conversation topic was, I think, what pissed everybody off in the room, because their whole sentiment that they were preaching in the meeting was the safety of the women. They wanted to make sure that they are able to guarantee safety and that we're guaranteeing safety for the women. And we tried to explain to them that they're trained the same way the dudes are. There's not special like lady trainers or anything like that for the women. So they just got done preaching safety about professional wrestling. And then very next docket item on the agenda was whether or not they were going to legalize bare knuckle boxing in Oklahoma. And
no, it wasn't even that.
I can let you guess how that went. If that was a big.
It wasn't even that. They needed to revote if they could change the name from bare knuckle boxing, I think, to the bare knuckle fighting or something. And then they proceeded to show other videos of even worse combative sports.
Yes, and that's like what it got down to is like they're worried about safety, but then you have stuff like bare knuckle boxing in Oklahoma,
boxing, fighting, whatever they're gonna call it.
It's
approved though.
I have 60 to 70 matches in a year. I'd be surprised if a bare knuckle fighter gets to have that in his career. He's probably gonna be like incredibly brain damaged by the end of that. So, like, it showed off the bat right then and there, right after that, they're not actually here for the things they keep saying they're here for, or trying to enforce these positive things that they're trying to enforce. I do think the commission offers, some sort of, a service with the making us have physicals and making us have blood work and stuff like that. That's fine and dandy. But when you're not including things like, having people submit where they were trained from, or, overseeing who is doing training in Oklahoma, you sort of lose credibility as an entity because you're not doing what professional wrestling needs. You're just doing what you think professional wrestling needs. And when you're not anybody that's from the world of professional wrestling, it's not fair for you to decide what that world needs. On top of the bare knuckle fighting thing, they take votes to establish committees on specific types of combat sports to be like, hey, we're going to take 3 or 4 dudes off of our commission board and have them go mock up a set of rules for this specific fight or specific sport. And that's fine and dandy. We asked if we could have something like that, and we're kind of just staunchly told no. And then immediately after that, because I was sort of asking if we could, govern ourselves or have a group of people, present them with a set of rules by the time it needed to go up to legislature in February. And they kind of just I guess, listened to everybody else after I had asked that and didn't decide to address what I said. It's fine. There was a lot of people there speaking, so I understand if they didn't have the capability of addressing everybody's sentiments. But they followed on after that to give the Muay Thai there's specific Muay Thai open-handed fights in Oklahoma. They gave the Muay Thai guys the rights to oversee themselves. They get to make their own rules, not the commission. The commission's not getting people to make those rules. They get to mock up the rules themselves and submit it to the commission. So it begs the question, why can't we do that? Why are the Muay Thai guys given this special treatment? And it's just so annoying because they talk about the safety. They talk about wanting to prevent accidents, and they do recognize this as dangerous, but they don't also recognize it as a sport at the same time. And when we have entities falsely representing something, we have situations like what happened in Oklahoma Saturday night happen, and that's when two untrained wrestlers get in a ring together, do a sidewalk slam, and somehow magically snap the dude that took the sidewalk slam's leg in half. How do you snap somebody's leg on a sidewalk slam? I can only imagine the reason would be because you don't know what you're doing.
Untrained, and yeah.
Where's the commission for that? Where's the commission on that show? You know, I know there wasn't an inspector on that show.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's like either do the full length of the job or don't do it at all, kind of thing.
Yeah, like the fact like that you started off saying that they went in saying that it's not a sport. It's okay, if it's not a sport, why are we governing it? You know what I'm saying? Under the athletic commission banner, you know, like if you're not going to classify it as a sport, okay, then why is it here? I understand you want it to be run certain ways. That's cool. But if you're going to let, the Muay Thai group, kind of oversee that, then you should have a committee just for professional wrestling to oversee it. And then you can, have the levels to it. But that floors me that's how they're doing it.
Yeah, and what even made me more upset is I had a letter in front of me with like kind of the bullet points of what I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to just free ball promo them and not get exactly what I wanted to say out. And I had this letter in front of me that had real like numbers and stats as far as like what states have athletic commissions and what states allow intergender wrestling. And Oklahoma is the only one where intergender professional wrestling is banned. And I wanted to talk about that, but I didn't get to talk about that. And I felt like it was going to be a waste of time because when they opened the meeting, they talked about how there are 26 states that regulate professional wrestling, which is a lie. I have gotten a confirmed email list from, other companies that require extra work like WWE or TNA. They have a list of all of the states that require licenses, and you can look at any of those states' rules and regulations. And I went down and I did my due diligence and I looked at all of them. Oklahoma is the only one that regulates intergender wrestling in professional wrestling. They kept trying to give these numbers and stats like they're regulating amateur wrestling. They're regulating like Greco-Roman wrestling, and we're getting grouped up with that. They're not giving fair measurements or statistics as far as what professional wrestling is. And when we're getting lumped up with something that's a real sport, it's going to get real bad real quick.
How do they determine? You said like the sidewalk slam incident happened at a show, and you were pretty sure there was an inspector there. How do they do? If Oklahoma threw 50 wrestling shows on a Saturday night, do they have enough people to cover all those events and make it happen? Or how do they decide who goes to what? And like, that just seems like it's kind of tough to regulate if you're not on top of it.
Oklahoma really only has shows on Saturday nights, and there's only 4, maybe 5 Saturdays in a month, but there's only like about 9 companies in Oklahoma as a total. And the inspectors, there's plenty of inspectors. Some former wrestlers are inspectors now, and I mean there's always people on payroll. It's just there's a miscommunication because the people on the commission board that are doing all these oversights and these rules and actually in a seat of power, they're not doing the same thing that these other lower henchmen type guys are. Like the inspectors come to the shows and they check your license, make sure all the rules and regulations are up to code and stuff, but like they don't even know what's really going on, and they kind of just come check and make sure everybody has the little licenses. They get their payment of the ticket and concession sales, and then they just bounce most of the time. And that's kind of, I think, another thing that happened with when they planned the battle royal with Stormi. I think they were under the impression that the inspector was going to leave because he was an inspector that usually left. So that happens a lot in Oklahoma. Is like, yeah, intergender wrestling is banned, but is it banned once the inspector leaves? Like,
no. Out of sight, out of mind.
On the internet, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the only time these people know anything that happens ever is when we have snitches, and believe it or not, that is a handful of people in this state, surprisingly.
Imagine being a person that's like, you know what, I'm a snitch on this wrestling stuff. Because you know the generic wrestling isn't real, it's a fake sport, blah blah blah. And I can just imagine somebody like, excuse me, Commissioner, I got a couple of intergender wrestlers going on over here. That's ridiculous. That seems so ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
I can't fathom this. This is crazy.
So I guess all in all with the commission meeting, it didn't exactly go the way we thought it was going to go. There was a blink of hope at the very beginning where the wrestler that's on the commission board, he kind of gave us a blink of hope because as soon as they started up the wrestling portion of the meeting, he was like, all right, all in favor, say aye, aye. He kind of just like tried to get it like steamrolled right to the top. He's like, yep, let's go, let's do this. Let's not talk about it. Let's not argue. So I appreciated that because as soon as he said that, me and Stormi looked at each other like, is it going to be that easy?
It got crushed real quick.
Yeah, but
there was like one dude who just really seemed against all of it and wanting to be a hater and not wanting to handle any of it. Good.
Yeah, they kind of presented it more of like a political issue and something that they don't want to like touch. Like it's like they don't want to play hot potato and they look at it as hot potato when we're not thinking of it as hot potato. Yeah, they just consider the gender identity thing a live grenade, which understandably so. Most of the time it is, but we're not really talking about anything that goes hand in hand with like, this isn't about like gender identity laws or anything like that. It's just about like not overseeing something that you don't have a fucking clue about. And I wish the commission meeting would have gone a little bit better, but they're still going to present the whole intergender and transgender thing to legislature themselves, and it's gonna. I think it's going to get knocked down by the legislature just because they're presenting it as a gender issue. However, we're going to do it on our own accord and try things a little differently. Earlier this year, I think I mentioned it to you, Blair, that the commission did get taken to court for a Native American show. And Pluggo, I don't know if you know this, but commissions can't exist on Native American land. We're able to just be free people there, thank God. But there was a guy that tried to run a show on Native American land, and the commission tried to argue that it wasn't Native American land. And that, at the end of the day, when it was in the court system, didn't even become the argument at all, because the very base argument that the judge ruled on was, I don't know why we're here or trying to have any sort of argument. This is sports entertainment, not a sport. So we don't even have to get to the Native American land part of this argument. I'm just going to say no right now. So he told the commission, no, you can't oversee this event. And we're in contact with that same attorney that helped us out in that case. And his advice was for us to kind of just like do a outlaw mud show, a little indie outlaw mud show, because we have to have a case filed against us to even take the commission to court. It's not like one of those things where we can just like ring up a court and be like, I want to take the commission to court. Like we have to do something wrong, or they have to do something wrong. And nobody is going to look at the man and say, hey, he did something wrong, let's put him on trial. It's always going to be the littler guys, which is us currently. And so what we're planning on doing is running a show unsanctioned by the commission and using a lot of LGBT talent, trans wrestlers, and people kind of more so out of state that aren't licensed, that aren't going to take a blow from this. Because even though I've quit doing my Oklahoma bookings out of my own set of morals, there's going to be people still here wrestling that support the cause, and that's completely fine. I'm not going to give anybody shade for not quitting with me. I think a lot of people are under the misunderstanding that I wanted everyone to rally behind me and quit doing Oklahoma wrestling. That's not what I want at all. I want Oklahoma wrestling to keep flourishing and thriving. I just personally right now, I'm not going to put money into the pocket of the commission, especially when I'm one of the main figureheads of this whole like group fighting the commission. So it would look really fishy for me to continue to do so. Yeah. And I'm not doing it just because it looks fishy. I'm just doing it because it also feels wrong. And I feel like a lot of people are kind of getting a little too pokey about it. It's like, oh, you think you're better than us kind of thing. And it's like, no, that's not what it is at all. I think of you guys. I think you guys are better than you think you are. And you should probably be taking yourself more seriously.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take this opportunity. Let's quickly do some tidbits,
Yes.
and then we'll come back and wrap things up with you guys. We'll chat for a few more minutes. So I'm just gonna play this lovely little intro video that Pluggo made. Hey, it's Blair's tidbits.
Tidbits. Tidbits. Tidbits. Blair's tidbits. Blair. Beep boop bop. Tidbits.
Oh,
It's Sid.
So yeah, you said you're a dad. That had some real heavy like Caillou inspiration, like some real children's show type stuff. I like
Wow.
that.
Wow.
It felt like I was plugging in for a Bluey segment. That's awesome.
Shout out to our friend Dustin. Shout out. Whoa, you're saying them better or worse?
No, that was
I
fun.
think you know what I'm saying here.
Well, I don't, because you flamed me for my pizza preheating oven take, so I don't know where you're at with this, Stormy. I don't know.
So Stormi Renee love wrestling.
Watch out. Hey, listen, I bet I get into quite a few beefs with some independent wrestlers, believe it or not, in that love wrestling circle. But no, that was from our good buddy Dustin. That actually was inspired by 22 Jump Street.
I thought it was amazing.
Basically a children's show.
The slam poetry.
The beep boop at the end.
Beep boop.
Yep.
Blair.
Yelling. Loud noises.
Blair.
Cynthia.
That's the first time we've played that for guests on this show. Yeah. I didn't realize I was going to get some blowback today.
That's okay. That's not blowback. I loved it.
Thank you, Logan.
We've got later on today, since it's a Saturday, GCW has HawaiiMaina, so you can check that out. We'll quickly run through 3 matches. We've got Danhausen versus Officer Colt Cabana. And that's at a normal time. Oh, no, 10 p.m. Central? Oh,
11 Eastern, let's go. I'm going to be
Officer Colt Cabana.
We got Matt Cardona versus Aleki Afi. And I am very hyped for this one. Gringo Loco versus Arez.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one for sure.
So we also announced for an upcoming show, Friday, November 15th in Illinois, a 4-way tag match for the tag team championships. Nice. This one, it's going to be good.
It'll be pretty good.
Should have been in that.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Brett!
I'm excited for that GCW Hawaii show. I spent quite a lot of time with Sam. He's one of my Sam Stackhouse. He's one of my best friends, and he takes me everywhere. He's kind of been like my big brother of professional wrestling. He takes me a lot of places and probably gives me more love and opportunity than anybody really should. But going to those GCW shows was a lot of fun, and now he's going to be doing GCW Hawaii, and he's going to be wrestling Megan Bain in an intergender match. So it's
nice.
I hope Oklahoma sees that and sees how much money Brett's about to make off that match alone and realizes what they're missing out on. Because I tried to present it as a financial reason for them to legalize intergender wrestling too. Because I was like, me and Stormi definitely, we take ourselves serious. We take our opponents serious and stuff. But like, we want to have fun like that. And I think Sam and Megan are going to have a lot of fun. That is like, who doesn't want to see that match? How are they going to tell that story? You know, that's like that's seeing that graphic alone is enough for somebody to buy a ticket. And that's like how we view ourselves as like an attraction match. If somebody sees a man and a woman tag teaming together, it's gonna come across and shock most non-hardcore wrestling fans. Like if you're not watching wrestling every week, you see a man and a woman tagging, that's new to you. That's like fresh culture around here.
Well, you guys have really done, spread out in that area. Has there been talks about, branching out maybe up to Canada, maybe to Mexico?
Bring me back to Canada.
Stormi's actually
I miss Canada.
You hear that, Canada? Bring her back.
Bring me back.
Come on.
Yeah, you guys are so pretty.
She went to Nova Scotia, so nice. We got to bring her to a more pretty part of Canada. She got stuck in the icy lands.
Where were you?
I was on Prince Edward Island. I don't remember exactly where, but we went there. Franco Varga helped me get out there, and so I went there for 2 shows.
How was that? Because I mean, I haven't heard much about the Prince Edward Island wrestling scene. I know like there is some in the Maritimes, but I
It
wasn't
was
involved.
good. It
Yeah.
was good. I mean, the guy's name is Doug Parker. Doug was a gym to work for. They had a decent crowd who really enjoyed seeing wrestling and everything. And I mean, it was so beautiful there, and I had a blast. And everything was your guys' money.
The fact that it's different
Monopoly.
colors.
Wild.
Nothing makes sense up there.
Monopoly money.
Nothing makes sense up there.
You get a red one, a brown one, a green one, blue.
Purple.
I still, after 3 years of working for Love Wrestling, have no idea how the Fahrenheit Celsius conversion thing works.
We talk about that once every 6 months. It'll come up, and we have to Google it and figure it out.
No, but Logan and I definitely want to go like pretty extreme places.
Wherever.
I know people on the airline gonna hate to see me and Logan coming as we bicker like an old
yeah.
married couple
Oh,
for
yeah.
2 hours, but
We're
really
ready for
realized
the sibling rivalry of this tag team over the weekend. So having to be
What is only friends? I got something else on the mind apparently. Only friends. What is the dream match for you guys? Where would it be and who would it be against?
It can't
Bussy.
happen anymore. It can't happen anymore, Bussy.
I mean, it could happen. Never say never in
We
wrestling.
could wrestle an iteration of Bussy, but we really wanted to wrestle Effie and Alley Catch if it ever came down to it. But
so
we understand
Logan
that
doesn't
Allie's
know
being
this.
a naughty cat right now. So
Logan doesn't know this, but I have one that I've never told him about. That would be a dream one that I don't know if we could ever make happen, but it would be obviously me and Logan, but against Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander. I think that would just
that
be
would be
such
magical.
a
That
fun
would be
match.
solid.
well, we also have talked about who was it? It was. Now I'm gonna hate myself for the rest of my life if I can't think about it. Oh, it was Veda Scott and Mike Bailey.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that'd be a good
that-
one.
that
Yeah.
Bird Law versus Only Friends. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Mike Bailey is, God, I got to give it to him. He's probably my favorite wrestler to watch right now. I always have the guy where it's like, oh, this is the greatest wrestler of all time because I'm watching it right now. And every time I watch Mike Bailey, I'm like, is this the GOAT? Am I watching the GOAT?
We usually have to say at the end of the year, like, what was your favorite independent match that didn't involve Mike Bailey?
Yeah.
Because he wrestles so
Yeah.
much and he always shows out. So
I did TNA extra work in San Antonio when they did Bound. I think they just did Bound for Glory in Detroit. Whatever the September pay-per-view was for TNA, they did Mike Bailey versus Zach Wentz for the X Division title, and I was doing live security for that match, and I'm glad they didn't pan to my face because my face the whole match was just like, oh God. It was just beautiful. And then anytime Mike Bailey tags with Jake Something or wrestles Jake Something, or anytime Jake Something does anything, really, it's just like, God, we got some real good wrestlers on the scene right now, man.
That is a fine looking man.
I'm going to throw this out into the universe because, I mean, you guys are an intergender team. Currently at LPW, an intergender tag team is holding the LPW Tag Team Championships.
And it goes to say, we don't even need it to be an intergender tag team. While that is a very synced up matchup, where we can take the fights to the dudes. Stormi's like 6'1", so
To the women too. It can be all women, all
it could
dudes.
be
We
all-
don't care.
yeah,
We
it
don't
could be all women,
discriminate
too.
here.
hell
yeah,
yeah.
I might get in a little trouble, but hey, for the love of the game,
Yeah.
You hit Laney and everyone loved it. Okay.
Oh yeah. That was the most. That's when I realized that our tag team. That spotting specifically was when I realized our tag team was going to work out. Well, because by the end of the night, like Laney Luck and GPA in that match, they kept trying to get us to kiss. They kept trying to get us to kiss, and they kept kissing, and kind of making a big deal about it. And I hadn't hit Laney Luck the entire match. I let her run the heat on me, and by the end of the match, I finally got one good shot off on her, and that was the biggest pop of the night for the entire show. So, I think if a whole crowd of hard red-blooded Americans in Kansas City can get behind a dude punching a woman in the mouth, then I think we'll be safe everywhere.
Okay, it's almost time. We're gonna wrap this up. Before we go, here's a what a way to end it.
We took over.
Before we go, if you two have anything to plug, upcoming shows, social media, all that stuff, here's your opportunity. So feel free.
Ladies
We
first.
wrestle at Skill on Friday. I don't know if you do, but I do.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I didn't get contacted, so have fun on your singles journey, partner.
Oh yeah, I'm wrestling Jose. I keep forgetting who I'm wrestling. Whoops.
Jose Gerardo, very talented kid coming up in Kansas.
What's our
I like
next
him.
tag match?
We're tagging in Heartland Championship Wrestling in Wichita, November. Or no, you're not coming?
No,
in
we
November
are.
Anyway. Okay, yeah,
No,
we're
we
tag
are.
teaming in November. Yeah, so her home company, and I guess technically my home company now. We're tagging there finally. We didn't start our tag team at that company, and it actually took until last weekend. Was it last weekend for us to
Yeah, that we
officially be
technically
tagging?
had.
Yep. So last weekend was our official debut as a tag team at that promotion. So we're gonna have another match November 16th in Wichita that we're really much looking forward to. And then in December, I think I told you, Blair, that we were going to Colorado for a big trios debut against the Pillars of Destiny. That match was so much fun. Everybody in Colorado is an absolute delight. But now we're going back to Colorado in December to wrestle Lilith Grimm and a mystery partner in an intergender tag team match. But I do know that it's going to be a champion, and that the singles championships will be on the line. So if Stormi beats Lilith Grimm, she's the new CWC Women's Champion.
Let's go.
If I pin the champion of my respective, class, I'm the champion.
I thought if you win, I win, and if I win,
yeah.
Well,
you rolled in. Oh, see how she's picking it up now. Earlier,
get you to come help us with this.
I'll pin Lilith. That's fine.
Listen, my maths, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, Colorado took care of us very well. So shout out to Chad Kalina and Colorado Wrestling Connection. They're a very great company. They're going to be out in Vegas for Mania Week, and we did so good with the Pillars that they told us that they're going to bring us in for Mania Week in Vegas. So me and Stormi are already going to be in Vegas.
Hell yeah!
Very much looking forward to that. We got to now the true operation is going to be trying to find other Vegas bookings. Sam and hopefully Fuego are going to be with us on this trip. So maybe we can get some GCW rub, but we'll see. Never know. I am a firm believer of your opportunities will come to you when they're supposed to come to you. Even though I would have loved to have an opportunity out of the 8 shows I did coast to coast over the summer, I'm not resentful at all because it was a very great experience and I got to see pretty much the entire country and I didn't get to do that beforehand. So
nice.
Very much worth it.
Awesome. Well, I mean, we thank you both for joining us on the show. It was a blast talking to you guys. Yeah. It was great. So, I mean, where you can find me and Pluggo. We tweet the stuff out all the time. Social media for you two. I'll get you guys to drop your @, your X's, your Twitters, that stuff, just in case the people want to find you on there.
Before,
so you can.
Oh, go ahead.
You can find me everywhere at Logan Knight Pro. That's it. Go ahead, Pluggo.
Oh, I was just going to say before we go, because this is airing on Saturday, I just wanted to say thank you, Sawyer Rec. I saw her post that she is hanging them up at the end of the year.
Yeah.
She is absolutely, without a doubt, one of my absolute favorites to watch. Yeah. She's infectious in the ring. She always looks like she's having a great time. Sad to hear what
me and Sawyer before she's done
right now. Yes. So I had to say, as somebody that we champion on this program,
you just ruined my whole life.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I didn't see that yet.
Wow. Man, I'm putting pizzas in cold ovens and breaking hearts.
This is Stormi Renee's midlife crisis at 25, everyone.
But yeah, she's awesome. Whatever she decides to do next, you got a fans here.
Congrats, Sawyer.
But
I guess you're just gonna have to work Manders in place. You're gonna have to work her man.
But are we plugging our stuff now that I've ruined Stormi's day like multiple times? Logan and I seem to still be cool.
Stormi, where can people find you on social media?
On Twitter, you can find me at Renee_Stormi. On Facebook, it's Stormi Renee. And then on Instagram, it's real_Stormi_Renee.
Perfect.
She gets a lot of hackers, believe it or not. It's kind of like somebody
that's
thinks
only
that we're
on
making
my
money.
personal page. My personal Facebook got hacked, which was linked to my Stormi Renee. So they started putting that my dad was in a home, and people were like, "I'm so sorry," and I'm like, "My dad is fine, thank you." One of the wrestlers' mom tried to buy the fake truck and almost lost her money. It was a
maybe
whole
I
other
should.
deal.
Maybe I should hit that unfollow button real quick. Then.
Yeah.
Hey, no, we got it under control. The new one is a good one. The other one got taken down. Facebook finally did their job. Mark Zuckerberg.
No more fake Stormies out there. No
Well,
more Stormy variants.
for myself, for our wonderful guests, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg.
Thank you guys,
Peace in
but
the
not
street.
much.